Wisdom. It's an incredibly valuable asset. Some would say more precious than gold. It's attractive, appealing, admirable. Conversely, a lack of wisdom is the basis of immaturity, blind spots, and bad decisions. Wisdom. It can be gained over time, but it can't be rushed. But wisdom can be shared. That's precisely what we are here to do right now. Today, we are here to hack wisdom, to distill it, to understand it, and to process it. Why? To get better at life. Welcome to The Main Thing. This is your new 9-minute podcast. I'm your host, Skip Linneberg, and I've set out to interview the wisest people I know. We'll see what we can learn from each one when they're faced with an incredibly difficult, soul-piercing question. Welcome to episode 30 of the Main Thing podcast and another dose of wisdom. I'm your host, Skip Linneberg. I want to give a special warm welcome back to my subscribers and returning listeners. If you're listening for the first time, welcome to you too, and I'd like to encourage you to subscribe so that you won't miss a single dose of wisdom. I'm thrilled to introduce you to my special guest today, Charles Ryan. Charles Ryan forged an illustrious career in business, first as a TV news reporter and anchorman, then as founder and CEO of the advertising agency Charles Ryan and Associates. Later, he served as dean of the University of Charleston Graduate School of Business. He continues to consult in the area of media and spokesperson training. Charlie is a member of the West Virginia University Business Hall of Fame, the West Virginia Broadcasters Hall of Fame, and recipient of the prestigious Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year Award. If there's a Hall of Fame list, Charlie Ryan is on it, and deservedly so. Charlie is an author who has published 6 books. Charlie and his wife Becky make their home in the Lancaster, South Carolina area. He is a proud and active grandfather who is blessed to have 4 grandchildren. Charles Ryan is someone I greatly admire, a business luminary in my world, and someone I emulated during my years as leader of a marketing firm. Now get ready. Over the next 9 minutes, you will discover why Charles Ryan is truly one of the wisest people I know. Charlie Ryan, good morning, and thanks for coming on the Main Thing podcast.
Oh, good morning, Skip. Thanks for the invitation. I'm looking forward to it.
My pleasure, my pleasure. Charlie, let's help our listeners out and tell them how you and I are connected.
Well, we're connected through advertising and design and that kind of thing in both advertising and public relations, having industry backgrounds, and having worked together on a number of projects, some of them for the CMC Foundation, and we have enjoyed one another's company.
Absolutely. You will hear, I just recorded the introduction. Folks have heard me say that you are a business luminary in my world and someone who I admired and still admire greatly. And I just wanted to thank you for the way you were such a great, admirable leader in our space over the years.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that.
Charlie, that project you mentioned for the local hospital, Charleston Area Medical Center, building their new cancer center, I remember getting a phone call from you and you said, Skip, could you come over? I want to talk to you about something. And I had no idea what it was, but of course I came over and you asked me to take the lead on the public relations committee for that fundraising project. And long story short, with help from many and your support, we raised $15 million, which was our goal, and helped the hospital to build a beautiful state-of-the-art $41 million cancer center that is helping save many lives here in our community.
Yeah, it was really gratifying to do that work and gratifying to know that it has succeeded so well. It's one of the novel and great things about being in a creative business, to be able to visualize something, take it before the public, and actually make something happen.
Isn't that
you did great? By the way, you did great work in leading that effort. I will always remember that, and thank you so much for it.
I'm honored to do it. Charlie, you have a journalism degree, I believe. Have you always loved to write, or is this somewhat of a new passion for you now that you are a productive and full-time writer?
Well, I love to write, and I've written throughout my career. When I finally retired after selling my business and then taking a job as the dean of the Graduate School of Business at the University of Charleston, doing that for a while, then retiring full-time, and I decided that I would try my hand at writing, so I have now written with a book that is coming out this month or next, a total of 6 books, some assortment there, novels and true crime, if you will.
Charlie, this
I've enjoyed it immensely.
Oh yeah, this latest one is intriguing. I wondered if you would just share a brief elevator pitch for Murder on Staunton Road, and then tell us when and where we can get it.
Well, Murder on Stanton Road is the story of the violent death of Charleston Daily Mail owner Juliet Stanton Clark. I think it's a smooth blending of a classic murder mystery and the history of one of Charleston's most prominent entrepreneurial families.
Sure.
There was a political and business repercussion following the crime, the family's unanswered questions, the resulting changes in the management philosophy of the Charleston Daily Mail, and something that would simmer for years within the city. You know, it's 60 years old, but it's an unsolved true crime case, and it is still open. The impact on Charleston was immense.
Yes.
The story was covered nationally. And we have unveiled, I say we, I do it, my co-author, Mitch Evans, who is there in Charleston. We have reviewed details that heretofore have not been known. So we're looking forward to the book coming out later this month or early in October.
Can't wait to get a copy, to have you sign it, and then to dive in and read it. That sounds like it's going to be fascinating.
Super.
This episode of the Main Thing Podcast is made possible in part by support from Gerald Black & Company. Find them on the web at geraldblack.com. So, Charlie, this is just a joy and an honor to speak with you, to collaborate with you on this podcast. And I could go on for another hour asking you to share stories and picking your brain. But, you know, it's a short format podcast, 9 minutes in respect of our listeners' time. So I had better present to you the main question. So, Charlie Ryan, what's the main thing you've learned so far in your lifetime?
Well, the main thing I've learned so far in my lifetime, Skip, I guess it's an assortment, kind of. I like to approach each day with alacrity. That's the theme of my book, my memoir, but alacrity is defined as a brisk and cheerful readiness. I think you have to have that. I think that it's important to have a good partner, a good marriage, a true partnership with a soulmate. That's essential to happiness and long life. I also am a firm believer in integrity and loyalty based in the belief of a higher power and an exceptional work ethic. Those are the true ingredients, I believe, to success in life and business. I think people have to believe in their dreams and never imagine or accept failure. I think that confidence is the essence of life. And I think you have to remember to never forget that no one succeeds alone. You have to remember never to forget to honor those who gave you encouragement and help along the way. So those are the things that I have learned over my 80 years on this planet, and I think they are words that have helped me well along the way.
Charlie, let's take the Alacrity wisdom nugget that you just shared with us. Can you give us an example of when you've applied that or relied upon that wisdom principle to guide you in your business career? When was that just incredibly crucial for you?
I think in the business that I was in, and you will relate to this, it's a day-to-day challenge.
Yes.
You always have to go back to the well and create new customers, create new designs, so forth. And if you do not have an approach that is brisk, you're going to get it done, and cheerful, you approach it with a great attitude, then I don't think you'll succeed very well. So if anyone is interested in making their life a success, I think they have to adopt that approach. Get it done, be brisk, and have a lot of cheerfulness in doing your work. And I think that passes to others, and out of that you can create something really fine.
Right. And Charlie, as a business leader, as the leader, the CEO of a firm, others are looking to you to sort of set their mark in their direction. And if you don't have that excitement, that optimism, that passion, they're not going to have it either, are they?
Indeed. I mean, it's the kind of business where you really have to be very gung-ho in terms of your approach. I know there are times in any business, as we had in our business, when things did not look that good. Business fell off. You were wondering where you were going. And what I always did as a business leader and as the CEO of the firm, if we had that kind of a situation, I made certain that I would walk around the floor several times a day, whistling or chatting with people, telling a joke here and there, and letting everyone know that things are okay.
Being cheerful, being optimistic, not worried.
Right. You know, attitude is everything. As I said, confidence is the essence of life. You have to believe that what you're doing will succeed because you're doing everything in your power to make it happen. And I think that hard work and average intelligence, hopefully better than average intelligence, will lead to success every time.
Charlie, what's the risk or the downside for folks who have not yet embraced a few of the wisdom principles that you shared with us today?
Well, I think that if you have a negative attitude, it results in a negative life. I think that you have to be an optimist.
Yes.
I think you have to believe in the well-being of the world, regardless of the perilous times that you may live in, which we are experiencing now.
Indeed.
But as an optimist, I think you look forward to better days, and I think you work toward that. If you have a negative attitude, all you do is contribute to the negativity.
Indeed. And Charlie, you're quite the opposite. We'll leave it right there with that superb wisdom that you shared with us, Charlie. I want to thank you so much for coming on the podcast today and for sharing those important wisdom principles that you did.
Well, thank you, Skip. I appreciate it, and congratulations to you with your new podcast and traveling down new avenues to create things that people will enjoy and always remember. It's just a pleasure to have you as a friend and a pleasure to be with you today.
Wow, 9 minutes is up. That goes by incredibly fast, doesn't it? Time flies when you're hacking wisdom. I hope you're left wanting more. Sync up with us again next time on The Main Thing for 9 more minutes of wisdom. Hey, it's Skip here. I want to thank you for listening and subscribing. If you want to show your support for the Main Thing podcast, I'm excited to let you know that we now have a merchandise store. So if you want to get some Main Thing merch, just go to teespring.com/themainthing. Teespring is TEESPRING. So that's teespring.com/themainthing. There you can find t-shirts, coffee mugs, stickers, tote bags, all emblazoned with the beautiful The Main Thing podcast logo. Check it out. Go get some merch. Thank you in advance.